Extended metaphor warning. You are entering a metaphor crossing zone. They're going to be coming at you very fast, intertwining. You might not be able to keep up, but you can try. It seems like a lot of people go through life as though there's like no script, or the script is being handed to them as they go. Like they're on stage and just being fed one line at a time. And they're just at the mercy of someone giving them lines, giving them things to do in the play of life. Yeah, I mean, people go through life a bit passively. So today I'm here to tell you, be the author of your own life. Don't just be some actor waiting to be fed lines. Oh, because in this metaphor, you're the author, but you're also the actor, the character. This is basically being passive in life versus being active. I mean, a lot of it has to do with just comfort and risk aversion. You know, it's more comfortable to kind of just go along with life, take it as it goes, whatever. It's also a lot safer to do that, a lot more comfortable. And look, I'm not blaming anybody, but the truth is that when you don't make choices, when you don't pick a path, choices are made for you. Paths are opened up and closed for you without any input on your part. In other words, to go with this metaphor, if you don't take control of the script of your own life, it's going to be written for you, and it's probably going to be a lot more boring and not exactly what you want than if you at least tried to write it yourself. Now look, even in the writing world, when an author, a playwright sets down, when they sit down on the chair in the evening to write their stories, you know, they have an idea in their head, but even as they translate it to paper, going from the mind to reality, something is lost. It's not exactly what was in the brain. Usually, from my experience, it's like perfect up here, and then it goes out into reality, and it's a little rough. It needs work. It's not an instant masterpiece. But at least you got started with that really good intent up here and got something down to work with. So in life, when you pick a path, when you try to write your life, be the author of your own life, it's going to be perfect in your head. And then when you start to try to do it, when you pick a path to go down, it's going to be a little more rocky than you had anticipated. It's not going to go exactly how you want. It might not even go anywhere close to what you want. It might be totally off the rails. It might be a huge failure, or it might go in some other direction you never even anticipated. But at least you started with a direction that you were going, that you chose, rather than it being just kind of forced on you, whether you realized it was forced on you or not. And hey, it's a lot easier to keep picking paths once you've picked one. You know, maybe it's not going exactly how you expected or intended, but at least you've got some momentum. You know, at least that you can then feel like you can keep choosing a path, rather than if you give in to the inertia of someone who is just being passive and who is just not writing their own script. It becomes harder as time goes on to then decide to, I'm gonna snap out of this. I'm gonna try to write the next chapter. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not discouraging anybody. I'm just saying better do it sooner rather than later. Better start trying to write your own life now rather than waiting 20 years after half the book's been written for you. Here's the other part about being an author, is that you'll see a lot of writing advice. If you've ever looked up, how do I write a better story? How do I write a better novel, a better play? The advice is always, don't be nice to your characters. Put your characters through HE double toothpicks. Put them through the ringer, man. Put your character through all the situations that you don't want to put them through, that you want to protect them from, that they don't want to go through. So I'm sorry to tell you, I think the same advice applies when you are writing the script of your own life. You're the main character, and you've got to put yourself through some stuff that maybe you would rather not go through, some stuff you'd like to protect yourself from. But what kind of story is it if you just go through everything's fine, the status quo is never challenged, you never grow? Now, when the critics get a hold of a play or a movie or a book where the main character didn't change much, didn't learn anything, didn't grow at all, was basically flatlining through the story, the same, the beginning, middle, and end, the critics will tear that book apart. They'll say this book isn't very good. Every story is different. Some stories are very subtle. It's not like a huge action adventure thing. It's just the story of someone going through life and their priorities changed, or they learn to trust in themselves. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular. But then on the other hand, there are some stories that are like, someone makes a rocket and goes to the top of Mount Everest with it. And so when you're writing your own script, you've got to put yourself through some trials, man. You've got to put yourself through the things that are going to make you grow. And at the end of the story, be a changed character who is completely different from who they started the story as. Because if it's a good story, at the end of it all, when the character has changed, they've changed for the better so that they can go help other people. By the end of the story, they have helped the world become a better place because they themselves as a character have grown and added more to the world. But of course, you can't write a script in such a way where your life is going to turn out exactly how you think it's going to turn out. But I do have another metaphor that I think helps. It's like you're in a river. Everyone's in a river. It's the river of life. You can't really help so much that you're being pulled in a direction. You can't help what's in the river coming at you. You're just going down it. And let's not make it too dramatic. It's it's a fine river. You're having a good time. It's a slow pace, but you're still going gently down the stream, if you will. And lots of people, the people who aren't writing the script of their own life, they're in some nice inner tubes, man, and they've got the sunglasses on. They've got a slice of watermelon in their hand, and they're just enjoying going down the stream. But the thing is, they have absolutely zero control. It's just they're just going wherever the current is taking them. But you could get out of the inner tube, and sure, you're gonna have to move down with the river, but when you're out of it, you can swim around. You can kind of choose what direction that you're gonna aim for. If there's like an interesting rock in the river or something, you can, temporarily hang on to it and be like, oh, this is cool. Look at this, man. And sure, maybe it's comfortable to stay in the inner tube and just float down the stream. But if you're actually getting out, getting into it, and really contending with it to try to go your own way, well, that could be a lot more exciting. I'm not, that metaphor kind of falls apart at the end. It's like, why would you want to get out of the inner tube? I don't know. And when you're in the river, you might lose your sunglasses or something when you're swimming around. You might hit your foot on a rock and stub your toe. But you also got to swim around in the river at your own pace and do your own thing. Okay, it wasn't the greatest metaphor, but it sort of gets you a little closer, I think. If you want to see another video with some advice and some cool metaphors, you can click right here. If you want to see something that's just funny, here's my last video, ESTP Girlfriends. Thanks for watching. Smash like, smash subscribe. Till next time, stay cool and attractive.